pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I wondered what you were grabbing for.
Spider.
Okay, has everybody had a chance? Hi, Dan.
Hello.
Chance to, read the minutes of the last meeting, which was April 1.
Yep.
Yes.
They moved it in second to the,
I move to approve the minutes.
Second?
it's been moved and approved to second minutes. Anybody have any questions or calls? Nope. Move to accept the, minutes.
Aye.
Okay.
Any old business?
I wanna request to be out of state.
Boy,
Oh yeah, I need one of those too.
Okay. Any old business?
No.
Let's do out of state first.
Okay.
Let's not completely mess up the agenda.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, okay, Stuart, you first.
That's what you get for giving in the right now.
Ah,
I'd like to be out of state from June 21st to July 1st. No.
okay, and then Mark.
I'd like to be out of town June 18th through the 21st.
Through June?
June 18th through 21, yeah.
Oh, 18 through 21, okay. So June. Anything we could, other than the 2 already saying you want out, want out? Okay, make a motion to,
Motion to approve Stewart and Marks.
Time off?
we have a second?
I'll second, as long as we can figure out the meeting date.
We did.
Yeah, but we'll
We
get.
got it
We
handled.
got it handled.
But we'll put it up for a time. Okay? Any new business?
We gotta vote on that.
Pardon?
We gotta vote on that.
One on the out-of-state travel.
Let's, vote on it. Is anybody out of touch with letting these guys go?
Aye.
Aye.
This is, everybody is, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Okay,
Unfinished business now.
yeah,
None.
yeah, we have some more.
Number 5.
Number 5.
Yeah, okay. Move to, close the street between the American Legion and, we don't have street numbers in here, but anyways, for this, the annual street dance between the Choteau Pavilion, or the Choteau American Legion and the post office.
Do we know the time frame?
6 p.m. to 4 a.m.
Is that
usually.
the third?
But it's the third and fourth, right?
It's the 3rd.
So
It's
that's
the 3rd.
And then the morning of the fourth.
They clean up on them, yeah. just-
Well, from midnight till 2 or whatever.
Mhm.
I mean, we should probably be,
Yep.
write it all the way it should be.
Yeah,
Yeah, it says street between the Legion and the post office, 1st Street Northwest and 2nd Street Northwest. Date the 3rd of July, time of closing would be at 6 p.m. that evening through to,
To midnight, and then on 4th of July from midnight till 2 a.m.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay.
Okay, do I have a, motion to? Yeah, I believe.
I move to let them close the street.
Okay,
I'll
a
second.
second,
I'll second.
Mark second. All those in favor of, letting the Legion have their annual street dance?
I,
Aye.
Opposed? Or questions?
Nope.
All members, in favor? Say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Okay. Vote, we're coming up to the vote on the lease on the, community gardens. Lisa, we heard Lisa. Where'd you go? Okay, will you stand up and give us a go-through on this, so we can, kinda get going, figure out what we're gonna do here or there or whatever, so. Give us off to the thing and then give us a deal.
I don't know.
Maybe an update.
Give us an update, yeah.
It's been approved pending everyone signing us as, leasing the lot by the mini park. We've rototilled the property, we did it, cleaned it up, we planted a few things. Just, you guys have gave us a contract, we looked it over, we're ready to discuss it, I guess, I don't know what to say. Any person prefer?
You're happy with everything in the contract?
There's a few things, just because I'm not, well, being a school teacher, I want some clarification. Okay,
You should probably go there.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay, excuse me, sorry. Where it says rent, on Article 3, do you guys have this in front of you?
mm-hmm,
Okay, in lieu of rent, the tenant shall pay all of the, should we put in there water utilities, cause that's what we're paying, instead of just utilities?
We don't have utilities hooked up.
Yeah, right, so is that, I mean, I don't know what, that was just
That's
so,
all you're paying, you don't need to do
Okay.
that.
okay? And then, where it says taxes, personal property taxes, I didn't understand what that meant, because,
Are you a nonprofit?
yes,
Have you filed as a nonprofit?
no,
You probably should.
okay, see, that's what I need.
Are you guys okay if we branch under somebody?
What's that?
Are you alright if we branch under someone, or do you want us to be our own nonprofit?
Like TCDs.
TCDC's kind of full up with what they can handle right now for monies coming in for administrative, and like that.
And that's on me.
Okay.
Oh,
And I, check around and see how difficult it is, because they've really scaled that back, and, go talk to,
I'm trying to run through the CD board,
what is that?
can they run through the CD board? Is there, kinda like Eureka does, for, if they wanna give grants? That's what I mean, I would look into that, I guess.
Or
Is
it's
it
the
Legion?
it's the Teton County Conservation District.
What about the Lions Club?
The conservation,
No,
Isn't that, that's what you suggested?
no, like,
the conservation district is handling a grant for the,
Eureka.
farmer in the Dell Ranch, or farm down at Fairfield, to apply for a $15,000 grant to cover an open irrigation ditch, so it's not a safety hazard, so I know they do stuff
Okay.
like that.
Okay,
an extension also.
They act as a conduit, right?
Right,
Yeah.
yeah, it's just, it's.
So then that makes me question, and Jennifer, I guess you can answer this, like then would the agreement be between us and RAC, or like
It
extension
depends.
service or the CD?
Yeah, it depends on how that changes. And really, the question that you have about taxes, personal property tax would be like if you have farm equipment or
Right,
those
it's
kind of
buildings,
things. Yeah.
because
that's-
there's two
that's-
paid
Right.
Yeah, that's not
another
gonna, there is a
tax
building
thing, but
there.
this one's for
those
buildings.
are
That's
the
ours.
Okay,
That's
right,
right.
so it's whatever, I mean,
That's what
you're
I
not
got
gonna
from
get
that,
personal
yeah.
property tax on
Okay.
shovels and rakes and stuff.
okay, I just wondered because I was like, okay,
If you buy a tractor, you're gonna get.
And if we're using
Right.
private tools, tractors and stuff, we don't have to pay, they're,
Right.
okay,
As long as you don't put a building up, you're not.
yeah, that's what I got
Well,
from it, though.
yeah. Well, I just wanted to clarify it because I'm like, okay,
It's a generic type of lease that
Okay.
includes everything.
okay. And then on our, where it says mutual, covenants regarding shared spaces and separateness,
What article are we under,
Yeah.
Charlie?
Article 9,
Found it.
okay? Liability insurance. Is that for me and Mariah? Okay, my State Farm guy asked how much.
Yeah,
normally it's $1 million.
Oh,
But you should, on a side note, you should be able to get an umbrella policy that would cover some of that, whether it would cover a business entity or not, your insurance person.
I don't know if I want our business to be attached to it, so I didn't know if we would do a
But I'll
separate.
give you a copy of one that we have,
Okay,
because everybody has to have insurance.
Yeah.
And
But I
so how is RAK set up? Is it just,
nothing,
We're not a
okay.
structured.
we're not a structured
organization.
anything, we're just people.
Yeah, when you lease from the city,
Mhm.
we have to have some form of,
Mhm.
So what do you want us to do about creating a group organization? I mean, for the,
come
do
in
you want us to
tomorrow and
be-
I'll get, you
Okay.
yourself, can they get insurance, with that name? I don't know.
So there's either some entity or some human that's on the title.
Right.
of
Correct.
That insurance policy.
Mhm.
So without the absence, or I guess with the absence of an entity, there's gonna be some human that has to,
be responsible?
yeah.
Right, it would be like Mariah Russell doing business as RAK,
And
something like
it
that.
wouldn't
Do
be
I have
hard
to,
to,
like, register that in any group?
yes.
As known as a doing business as, though.
It's
You don't-
Well, what, you do need to check it with the state, because if there is already a random acts of kindness and you're doing business as, then
Yeah,
you
That's
can get in
just-
trouble for fraud, so do check with the
Do
state,
you know,
Secretary of State.
Secretary of
do you think of
State.
anything that would be easier? Just simply leaving out the RAC?
I mean, your name.
Just, I know, but I don't want, I guess the
But-
liability
but
has to
just
be on
check.
us.
But just checking with the Secretary of State is very simple.
Uh-huh.
You can go run a, you can run a search, it'll take
Yeah,
30 seconds.
I don't care how we do it, really, the group or not, it doesn't matter, I just, whatever's,
It's really
More
simple, you can do it online, it takes about
Okay.
3
yeah,
minutes.
we did it with our business, I know.
Okay. So then, insurance, liability insurance,
I will show you, I can give you
Tomorrow.
a copy of
I'm still teaching, so.
I'll come in
She'll have to
tomorrow.
do
Just come in.
I'll get it tomorrow, I'll show you.
Okay.
Yeah, in the afternoon, in the morning I'll be gone.
Okay.
Or no.
Do you have a ballpark of what we would,
What's that?
I guess I'll get a price.
I don't know, Mariah, I'm not
Yeah.
really sure, but you do have a.
Yeah, it's kind of, I was thinking $300 to $500.
That's what I was
probably.
okay with, was something like that, I didn't wanna spend 800 like we did for the,
No, no.
300.
That would be a normal
Yeah, and it would be,
umbrella.
it would be different from yours, I think.
yeah, cause it's different, a little bit more liability for us, okay. Anything else, I guess?
I think that's all that I had underlined.
But it could be
The
similar
other
like
thing to
that, and
consider, and you can talk more about it later, but if you've already got an umbrella for your business, you might consider the business, seeing if it would cover.
We're trying to stay away from
Or,
Okay.
or if
families.
it's
With-
your
Yeah.
church or something.
I can talk, well, we're not affiliating.
I'm
with
just
the
trying to give you
church,
some
but-
ideas.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I will talk to our insurance agent and see if that, okay, if that'll be in our best interest. Awesome, what would you guys like to do next?
Did you have any other?
Did you have
No, that's
anything?
all the things I had that I didn't understand.
Okay.
So what else?
So I think that,
Just you want us to vote on the lease agreement?
I'll make a motion to approve the lease agreement, Unity Garden.
I'll second it.
Any questions or any other discussion?
No?
Questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Against? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Now,
Dallas.
now we can go water our plants.
Okay, we're shuffling along through this.
Thanks.
Kind of a shuffle, so bear with me. In your,
that's up here, gravel crushers. The gravel.
what I'm
crushing,
gonna
Jack.
do, what we're going to do is, I've gotta resign so we can make everything else move down.
You still need to go to 7, Jack.
Go to 7.
Go to
Oh,
7.
yeah, that'd probably be a good idea.
You got a couple
We'll do the
more to go.
regular business down below 7, 8, and if
Yeah.
I'm screwed up tonight, we'll wait till tomorrow. In your pamphlet, you're gonna see a deal from Mike where he's figured out the monies that we're going to be spending on this, contract that we're gonna go through for the, upcoming season on the gravel pit out here. And I'm wondering, Mike, if you would give us just an estimate of what you think on that, Mike?
Sure. So if you look at that, it's a contract that Jen drew up for us, it's between, excuse me, the city of Choteau and Rainmaker Construction. And basically, right now we're paying about $15 a yard for 3/4 road mix gravel and to buy it. And with this contract, Rainmaker Construction will go up in our gravel pit and crush gravel right there using our raw material. In exchange, they want to crush 10,000 yards of gravel for themselves. They'll give us 80 cents a yard for royalty, so we'll get $8,000 bucks. They'll crush gravel for us for $7.50 a yard. So we'll get basically a little over 1,000 yards for the royalties. And then over the next 2 years, I think it is, we'll pay them $7,500 first year, $7,000 second year, and we'll get 3,000 yards of gravel for basically $14,500, which normally would have cost us $45,000.
So how much, I mean, just for scale, so
it-
there's 13,000 that we're going through, how much is
Or
there?
3,000,
No, 3,000 for us and 10,000 for them, right?
yeah,
So how much, just give me a ballpark, is there like 300,000 there, or is there?
I have no idea. We pulled, for the sewer lagoon, we pulled 14 and 16, probably 30,000 yards out of there.
Okay.
And we still have a massive amount of area.
Well, cause we just expanded that,
Yeah,
right?
we expanded, we tripled the size of the pit, and it's, you know, there's areas up there where it's definitely better material than others. Jim and I are actually gonna go up there tomorrow and dig some, he's gonna mark some areas, and I'm gonna dig some test holes and look at it, but it's, we live in a part of the world where good gravel's fairly easy to come by. So we're not gonna hurt our stockpile by any means.
Okay.
I think it's a good opportunity for the city. I think, with what we wanna try and do with streets, it's pretty important to have some material to build some grade back up. I don't know how long 3,000 yards is gonna last us. Probably not as long as we want. Material always runs out.
And it looks like this contract's only good for like a year, basically, till July
Yeah, I think,
2019.
you know, when I talked to Jen about it, when Jim and I have talked about it, you know, there's some latitude in here. Later this summer, we get into chip sealing, we may talk to him about if he set up there to crush us chips rather than buy them, cause chips are expensive. So we might save a little money there while he's there, so we may expand on this, I guess, what I'd like to see, have potential to.
So back up, how much does it normally cost if we buy crushed gravel?
$15 a yard.
Okay.
And so we're
Sounds like-
we're using our gravel to pay him to crush it, we're paying $7.50.
Okay, cool.
Anybody got any more questions for Mike on that?
Sounds like a good deal.
I move that we approve it.
I'll second.
Does anybody have any more questions on, Mike, when we come out of there, eventually, where are we gonna be sitting at for materials for using this new?
I'm not, I mean, with the 3,000,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. We're gonna learn, we're gonna start learning a week from today, when they're coming back up to train us on the zipper, and, you know, a lot of these streets that are either flat or have kind of an inverse crown, you know, I think we may be able to hopefully come in there, and we'll just throw that 3/4 road mix right on top of the street, and then we'll be able to run the grinder through it, mix the grindings in with the material, and then have enough there with the addition to get a crown, and then roll it, and then chip seal. I don't know how far it's gonna go. My guess is it won't go as far as we want it to.
You won't,
We're gonna run out.
you're never going to, motion, or,
Yep, in a second.
that motion and second, pass this, graveling, stuff that, Mike's come up to. Any other questions? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, none. Motion passed. I'm very worried.
I didn't put on the agenda, Jack, so you probably haven't seen the letter, but it's Marty Corey.
Pardon?
Marty Corey, she's replacing Dale Dewar, cause she left town.
So I'll make a motion that we approve, the new appointment to library board.
I'll second it.
Is there any discussion for or against? Okay, I would accept the vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. I'm struggling here, guys.
Jack,
We're
Jack,
gonna do the meeting, I think, next.
Yeah.
Should we do the meeting?
Do you want me to explain that?
Yeah, would you?
Yeah, I will. With what's gonna go on in a few minutes, with you, what we were running into on the 19th is we don't have enough people here for a quorum. Stuart, as you can see from when they're gonna be gone, they're crossing days, starting on the 18th through July 1st. If you're no longer with us, we don't have enough for a quorum. Everybody has to be here. So after many emails of trying to figure out when everyone was available, the consensus was that we would just cancel the meeting on the 19th of June because it's just not gonna work. And then we will reschedule, we do have a meeting on July 3rd. No one wanted to come at 7. I don't understand. But anyway, reschedule the time for 8:30 on the morning of the 3rd.
Is that a Tuesday or Wednesday?
It's a Tuesday. It's a regular meeting day.
It's just.
It's
Right.
just not the,
8:30 a.m.
yeah.
I'll put that in my calendar right now, so.
Yeah. So everybody okay with, we'll make a motion out of that, so.
Do we need to vote on that, or?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
I move that I'm gonna reschedule it from the 19th to the 3rd of July at 8:30.
I'll second.
Hearing, the discussion on, let's move it to the 19th of June to May, or July 3rd, going backwards here. Any, I guess we just need to vote on an action.
Mhm.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Wow, that sounds good. Thanks, Jill. Okay, all those in favor? Aye. Against, no?
Claims.
Now you're gonna do claims,
Claims.
because I did not highlight them, Jack, I'm sorry.
I just had 2 questions on claims. One is, there's a small payment to, Dow.
That's all it was just $300, that's all the engineering that they had done.
And then the other one is all these US Bank Trust SPA lockbox.
Oh, those are all our water and sewer loans that we pay twice a year.
Gotcha, those were my only 2 questions.
Okay.
Make a motion to approve the claims.
I'll second them.
Okay, the motion to approve the claims, any antis or fours?
Four.
Let's try 4.
Aye.
Against, any? The motion, claims passed, claims passed.
Now you have to go to 1.
Okay,
Now we're going to 1.
we'll go down to 10 in your packet.
There you go.
Number 1.
Now you're moving up to 1, Jack.
Pardon?
Now you're moving up to 1.
First one.
Unless you wanna
Okay,
do
you're right.
reports first.
So we'll do the first and then the last, and then we'll do the All right, getting into that, everybody knows that I've had a little bit of a health problem.
So, it's with regret that I'm tendering my resignation as, mayor of Choteau. It's been kind of 4.5 years of fun and some agony here and there, but it's also been pretty damn good, so thank you for that. I'm proud of the projects that we completed along the way while I was mayor. Particularly pleasing to me is the capital project. Steve's on that project. It's a hell of a project. And those guys have done a great job. Wasn't real easy. My wife and I and kids sat down and said, well, you've caused enough damage, get the hell out of there. So, I listened to them. So, I guess I need a motion to get rid of me.
You need to read your last sentence too, though, Jack.
How I am. That being said, I recommend that the council appoint Council Dan Lannen to take over for me. So, that's my recommendation, and thanks. Been a fun 4.5 years.
I move that we accept Jack's resignation, with recommendation.
I'll second.
Second,
I'll second.
okay? Been moved by Mark and Stewart that you accept my resignation. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed. Now we need to where I can kind of figure out.
So now does Dan,
Well, I think that even though you accepted it with the resignation, I would go ahead and vote, to appoint Dan individually.
we need a motion on that.
I would just for,
For accepting his resignation.
Okay,
You
can I have a motion to that effect?
Cause this is a point.
I thought we just did, but I think we're close.
well, you did, but let's just do it formally.
Okay, thank you.
I move that we appoint Council President Dan Lannen to finish up Jack Conatser's term as mayor.
I'll second.
Any questions? Questions? All in favor of the motion?
Aye.
Motion carried. Dan, you are on the hot spot.
We have to do the oath of office.
The what?
The oath of office.
And then,
And I'm the only one that can do it.
Right up there. And that's it.
Okay. I, Daniel J. Lannen, do solemnly swear
I, Daniel J. Lannen, do solemnly swear
that I will support, protect, and defend the Constitution of the United States.
that
Here. I will read it together.
I will support, protect, and defend the Constitution of the United States
And the Constitution of the State of Montana.
and the Constitution of the State of Montana,
And I will discharge the duties of my office with fidelity.
that I will discharge the duties of my office with fidelity. So help me God.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dan. And with that, if yours isn't as marked up as mine is, I would,
We just need to review the council person.
so we don't have to officially accept his resignation as council person?
I would accept his resignation.
Verbal.
Okay, so
Okay.
I'll make,
I will resign as councilman.
okay.
and then we can vote on it?
Yeah, we need to
So,
make a motion.
So go ahead.
You can go.
I move we accept Dan's resignation as council.
Right,
And I'll second.
whatever you just said. Because I just missed it. My hearing works good anyway.
Transfers
So,
all worldly assets.
All those in favor of the motion?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. That, I think, is worked down through the reports.
Well, we have to review the council person.
Yeah, let me just go through this so it's public. So what was kind of decided was though that, right, Jen, correct me if I'm wrong, we could just point right now, we have 30 days, but,
Right.
we have, in the past, we have put an ad in the paper for a week, and accept letters of interest, then, you guys can review them. We've set up a committee, since Stuart's gonna be gone, I would recommend the committee be Jill, Mark.
By default.
By default. And then we only have the 30 days, and so it has to be on that July 3rd meeting. We have 30 days, and so we can't go any further than 6.
Okay. So we would come back on the 3rd with a recommendation
Yes.
from the letters of interest that we would gather. So you'll take care of posting it and, okay.
And we'll collect the letter.
Now, do we need a motion to do all that, or, okay, sounds good.
So with everything good, we just need to finish this motion out?
We don't even need to have a motion on that, that was just,
Good with me. Let's go to the reports.
we have a sheriff's report of pages and
I
pages.
know, that was
because
really long.
Would you?
Steve he hadn't done one for a long time.
Long time.
But there's been, yeah, they've had the same kind of, lots of things going on there too, so. He just kind of gave you the last 3-4 months, just so you kind of had a highlight of what's going on. You know, you've kind of been getting some of it from the justice court.
I've gotta ask, Jeff, since you're here, what's a row violation?
I'm sorry, what?
A row violation?
ROWE?
Row violation?
Oh, that.
Ah, got it, okay.
Right away.
I thought I heard one.
If I'd known it was an acronym, I might have been able to smoke.
Well, since Jeff's here, Jeff, could you give us just a quick overview of what's been happening the last? Well, Jeff, if it makes you comfortable.
I actually haven't seen the report, so,
We've been busy, I can tell you
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
They've been busy, which makes me busy,
Oh,
which is
boy.
good.
Okay, we'll catch you the next trip.
There we go.
I can take a look at it if you want, it's not a problem. I'm not aware of what.
You know, it's really just, it looks to me, I mean, there's a lot of,
Well, we do have, I'm sure everybody knows,
no, go
three
ahead.
new young deputies, one's at the academy now. They have been issuing lots of citations. The ones who have received them, locals who have received them, are unhappy that we're writing so many tickets, but they want us, I'm sure, to write all of the tourists. So they are enforcing the law, they are writing tickets, but they're for violations, and that's kind of what we want.
Okay, great.
Yeah, we want paid for what we're paying for.
Well, we want people to slow down and follow the rules.
Well, yeah, if we wanna live in a safe town, then everybody needs to follow
Right,
the rules.
And we do get complaints about, the young deputies just writing ticket after ticket, well, don't break the law.
Please, go ahead.
and that just kind of happens for a
Yeah,
while.
yeah, right, it does.
If you see tickets that kind of look odd, we'll take all the revenue we can get.
Yeah, we're still trying to pay for
Barking dogs, cause windows are starting to be open, cause it's nice at night,
Yes,
and
definitely.
so, appreciate it. Come back a couple of times later and tell us how everything is running.
Yeah.
We've had quite a few large cases too, that have been very labor intensive, very manpower intensive, in Fairfield and then here in Choteau. That took a large chunk of a couple of months for us to finish those up. So it's been pretty busy.
Appreciate it.
Mhm.
We all do, anything that you do to help out makes a 100% difference for us, so
Appreciate it.
appreciate it. Mike, Public Works.
Everybody should have a report there, run through it as quick as I can. Wastewater, been a while since we had a meeting. For probably all of May, we were discharging into the lagoon. Because of getting full, we had to start discharging out of lagoons. We put in a discharge structure. And that was all done with and under the advisement of DEQ. There's some numbers on there. As you can see, our flows are going down. We are no longer discharging into the lagoon as of last week. And we're no longer discharging out of the lagoon, so that's good. I'm thinking by the end of the week, we'll get below 1 million gallons per day. So that's kind of a nice mark to hit. We're at about 1.06 right now, I think. We had really great results, even though we're putting in a lagoon. I believe we probably will qualify for a permit violation somewhere in there on some of the technicalities, but overall, we did really well. The lagoon, if you look at those results, you'll see they're as good as our plant. I don't know whether that's just attributable to it being dried out and all the inherent biology that was in there dying off. I don't know, but we lucked out. We really dodged the bullet on that one. We could have had a pile of violations. That's kind of what I was thinking we would have. So, we haven't made any progress on the force main issue out there. It's kind of coming to a head with our 1-year performance report coming up, which is in 2 weeks.
Yep.
So I think that may spur some action on that. We were able to resolve all the RAS pump problems and the long-standing area issues we've had out there. We got those fixed this month. Our polymer blending system arrived about a week ago or so, and it's in the process of being installed right now. And originally the plan for moving the dirt that was in violation for the Corps of Engineers was to move it on frozen ground during the winter. But this winter didn't really cooperate with the plan, so we didn't get anything done. And the Corps has been fairly adamant that we need to come up with a new plan and figure out how to do it on non-frozen ground. We came up with a plan. We're hopefully gonna start it next week, and I think in 40 hours of work, we'll have it done. And we'll have the Corps out of our hair and hopefully have learned a lesson and we won't have them back. So, water system's doing good. We still have a few leaks out there. We have a couple that we've known about. We just have not been able to fix them yet. We were at 38% loss for May. I put 16, 17, and 18 on there. You can see those. So we're in between. We're doing all right there. We're still going to the flood mitigation meetings, but I think we're out of danger on that one, it feels like. In terms of streets, we've just been patching potholes right now. We're kind of waiting on getting that grinder going. It's here. They came out for a training
Last week.
a week or 10 days ago. There was a part that failed to ship, so we were not able to actually run it. The part arrived yesterday. We installed it, but we cannot run the machine with warranty until they come back and train us, which will be on the 12th, a week from today. And then we're gonna start either fixing things or making a mess.
Sometimes you gotta make a mess.
The other thing in terms of streets is, and I'm just gonna kind of throw this out, I attended the META, is that what you call it? For the infrastructure, and the number one priority that kind of rose to the top in terms of infrastructure was trying to get ahead of Main Street renovation when the DOT comes through town. And what was suggested in that process by the engineers that were there and the people from Commerce, was that we form an advisory board. And kind of the advisory board that'll work with the ideas of what Choteau wants and try to iron out some of the differences that are gonna come up. So I'm gonna try to come up with some suggestions of who should be on that board. And if you guys have some suggestions, and hopefully by the next meeting, I'd like to have a list that would be on the agenda for you to approve. And I'm also gonna try to get a planning grant from Commerce for that. There's some money available. If we put in about $5,000, they'll put in 50. So, see if we can get that.
And then this would be to have a plan on the shelf, so when,
Just how it's gonna happen, I mean, partly for, I think there's a whole list of things of why we need to do it, figure out what we need to do ahead of time, so we're not being surprised or have stuff shoved down our throats. And then also, I think within the process, there's some latitude for what the city of Choteau wants,
Yeah,
for what our
this-
character, whatever, what we want our town to look like.
They do street lights.
right, no, I understand all that, but like, so you wanna get working on it and have it on the shelf, so when the DOT says, hey, we're coming through
Yeah, I don't
Choteau,
wanna,
and we have a
don't
plan.
wanna do it when they start coming in town.
Right, yeah,
And
we
plus,
wanna
I
be
think
ahead of the curve,
if we're proactive, it may
right? Spur them to
cease
put us
the
up.
ongoing postponement of it.
Right, right. I mean, yeah, no, yeah, that's great, I am all for that, and that's what I thought you were doing. 15 years ago, they said, and 10, 15
Yeah,
years ago.
was it
Way
5 years from now?
longer
5 years from
than that.
Yeah.
Just try and make
20
it
years.
maybe actually happen. Park stuff, we got our parks guys working, they've been really busy, grass growing like crazy. About the only thing really exciting there is we're going to, tomorrow we're picking up 10 new wooden picnic tables from the Boy Scouts.
Thank you for that.
They're nice big tables and they were, I thought, pretty big and reasonable. And so that'll be nice. We're gonna try and put up some new signs before the 4th of July, and do a little more work down there before the 4th. And GIS stuff you can read about, it's going good, and then just all the other stuff. As a final note, I just wanna say, you know, I've been here 2 years, the whole time with Jack. And we've had a couple tough spots where we were kinda, you know, with the sewer project, a few other things, and I've never worked for anybody that always had your back and well, Jack Conatser. So, he's left some pretty big shoes to fill, from my perspective.
Thanks, Mike. Anybody else have questions for Mike? Everybody's okay with Mike? Alright.
Mine's boring, it's always boring,
Yeah,
sorry.
she's Julie and she's not quite as boring.
Boring.
Let's
So-
have your report, kiddo.
Just an update of kind of where we're at, because with the changeover and not having meetings and stuff, normally we would have the budget amendment hearings on the 19th, but that's not gonna happen. So probably either we'll do them quick on the 3rd, or we'll wait and do them when we do, you know, we'll have to decide. We can also wait and do them when we actually do the budget hearings. Just do them both. So we'll have to decide on that, but we are gonna have to have budget amendments this year. I have started on the budget, you know, it is gonna be it'd probably be exactly the same as last year. I did find out today that we're getting about $4,000 more in our entitlement money, at least for this year. So, then the legislature meets, but, which is always scary. We do need to change up the budget committee a bit. Dan will now be mayor, so that leaves, who we have had before is Jack as mayor, Dan, Stewart, and Mike and I, as the department heads. So, I don't know how you feel, Stewart, do you wanna stay on it? Okay, then it would be nice. Can I make a suggestion?
Sure.
Okay, you have a lot of really good questions, Mark, I'm looking at you.
Okay.
Yeah, I know, I'm sorry. I think it would be good for you, at least for a year, being new, Jill pretty much understands, you know, for the most part, yeah, don't make those faces. But I think it would be good for you for a year to see where the money comes from, why there's 4 lines when we pay a phone bill. That would give you a little bit.
Sure, yeah, I'd be happy to serve on it.
We don't meet very many times because there's really nothing that changes from year to year, a lot.
Okay.
Because, you know,
So
unless we have a project.
So when would we hold those budget meetings?
Normally, we may have a lunch meeting, you know, yeah. The first thing that we do is set salaries.
Okay.
And that, because that has to be done by that second meeting in July.
Okay, sounds good.
So,
Jody can juggle our schedules.
Yeah.
not very well.
She's good at that. She found an hour in there.
I did.
The next 2 months.
Yeah. So, anyway, we do have, I think we're ended up okay in streets, amazingly, with all the snow. And now all the patching, we have a few line items that are a little over, but we're still good. We do have the money from that new gas tax, whatever Mike decides or how we can use that for the chips and oil or whatever Mike decides he wants to do, so.
Okay.
That's kinda where we're at, so. And I too, Jack, I just wanna say thank you.
It was a good deal for me too. I just enjoyed the Dickens out of it, you know, so. It was 2 ways.
Well, we appreciate you, as employees, we appreciate you, I think I'm speaking for all of us, and Mike said the same, we appreciate you having our back.
It's one of those little things to come back to, and there was more pleasure gotten out of it than was put into it. And then when you look around behind you say, well, yeah, you had a lot of fun doing this. What were the drawbacks? Not many.
Well, we
Not many at
appreciate
all.
you.
When you come in your office in the morning, you know your books aren't screwed up. You know, that's
It was a couple hour days.
when you have Mike and Jody are there, things are pretty easy. So, what do you guys got?
Nothing other than to reiterate, Jack, what a pleasure the last 4.5 years have been. I've really enjoyed having you as our mayor here in Choteau. I think you have given Choteau a good direction to go.
There again, I would hope. A lot of that pleasure that I received was just from watching our council and our crew do things that were, especially in this last winter.
Yeah.
Jody was digging around chasing mine, Mike was digging around getting out of snow drifts. You know, you drove around the state of Montana in that period of time, you wouldn't have seen many roads that were clean, you wouldn't have seen no, you wouldn't have saw the roads.
Yeah.
And ours were clear.
Yeah.
So, another deal about that's how good it is to work for the city, so pretty good for me.
And same thing, I wanna thank you, Jack, but you put it together, so hopefully it's easier for me to, for sure, which I know it is. I mean, everything's run smooth with the crew we put together, you put together, and problems you handled. My end of it has been pretty simple. I think it'll work good. We're just gonna miss you. We expect to see you sitting out there.
I'll be out there and sit once in a while. You know,
You'll have tomatoes ready.
Yeah.
with having Jen on as our legal counsel, that will really help me, so, so thanks, Jen. Yeah. What do you think?
I think you should go fishing.
Second.
Push the rod back in the boat, I'm ready to go.
Okay. And thank you.
That was my pleasure, Jen.
We had some tough times, but it was okay.
Well, again, just reiterate what everyone else has said, thanks for serving, I've only been here a short time, but I've appreciated the leadership for the short time I've been here, but also as just a citizen, not on the board, for the leadership of the entire council, so thank you for doing that.
I wish there was one more project I could squeeze in.
I do have.
I think
one-
every mayor
Got
wishes
some of
that.
it, though.
I do have one additional item. I was approached by a couple of citizens, and this is maybe more of a newbie question, but they asked me about mosquito spraying. So, who can tell me something about mosquito spraying? I know it's something we've probably looked at in the past.
I know that at least twice, if not 3 or 4 times since I've been on the council, and I'm 8.5 years, we've had somebody come and talk to us about it. The biggest problems are cost. People throwing a tantrum when you spray mosquitoes in their tree where they don't want it sprayed. You're never gonna get them all. There's a laundry list of problems as to why we don't spray for mosquitoes.
Did we ever- we have-
When did we spray?
We have before, haven't we?
Yes.
You'd have to go back to Mayor Kelly's.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it's probably been, I was told the 90s was the last time we sprayed for mosquitoes.
I can go back and look. I don't,
We sprayed the alleys, I think, that's
Oh,
what I
man, that's been
remember.
long.
We sprayed alleys and then, parks and stuff,
I lived in the country.
but even that wasn't, I don't know how effective it was.
It's something
The
you
city
might
got
look at
involved.
for Friday night, Saturday, and Sunday.
Yeah,
What do you think, Mike?
Don't know about
Is this
that.
something that you are equipped to even do, or is it something we contract?
I don't know, I'd have to look into it. I mean, if we could do it off of a four-wheeler, sure.
Well, it's one of those that I would be curious, but I wouldn't wanna put a whole bunch of effort
Well,
into finding the answers.
So Mark,
I mean,
if you wanna look into it, Ray Hahn down in Fairfield does mosquito
Okay.
fogging, spraying, whatever it is. He does it on a pretty
We don't
small,
have any equipment.
yeah, he does it on a pretty small scale. But
And
he
I
could one who
go
could
back
give you
like-
an idea.
Cost and
Yeah.
time frame.
Can't people do it on their own yards
Yeah,
and stuff?
I did,
mean,
in
why
fact.
does it have to be a community-wide thing?
Well,
Because
Part of the problem is, over by my house by the mini park, you've got the mini park,
Yeah.
which, I mean, without communal spraying, my efforts in my backyard are.
Well, and I'm on the edge of town,
So
so if we spray up to the edge of town, you're still gonna get the ones that come in from salmons and from, water and,
Well, realistically, like compared to the rest of the country, our mosquito season isn't that long.
Well, it was more of a curiosity, something to
Yeah.
and I said, I might check into it a little bit with Ray, just to see maybe future years if it was something that was very cost.
well, or if that person wanted it done, he'd be somebody to contract with.
And I think it was a little bit about parks and some of the communal areas, school grounds, whatever.
yeah, cause it is thick, like over on the school, in the
Yep.
grassy areas of the school there.
Well, we have a wonderful breed of mosquito in Montana that does not require standing water, they just require damp grass.
Well, they're thick.
Anyway, that was my only other item, so, thank you.
Anyone else in the audience? Well,
Just to say what everybody else is saying, when you said you've been here for 4.5 years, that means I've been coming here for about 6. You made that 4.5 years
I caught up.
go by. It was a joy to come and watch you be mayor.
Well, I hate to get it. I've written down here to make sure that I recognized you for being here all these years.
We do.
Hopefully I'll still be coming.
Any other comments?
Motion to adjourn.
Going twice.
I'll second it.
Meeting adjourned, you just got that one. 7:53, 58.
You're slow tonight. I've been running a lot faster.
I had everybody down in my house today. Gotta go to work tomorrow. Friday. Get this put away.
Yep.
It's been fun.
Yeah, Louis is gonna go back.
No.
Yeah.
I'm